Hey guys, what's up? Surmo11 here with my final review of the Bleach manga. Bleach chapter 686, Death and Strawberry. I believe that's a reference to the first volume or the first chapter of Bleach, one of the two that has the same title. Now, I have mixed emotions about this chapter. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just very short. And as I've said in previous Bleach videos, they screwed Tite Kubo over, and that's even more apparent with this chapter. The final chapter of Bleach was 20-something pages, and it wasn't even in all color, and I heard it was supposed to be in all color, so I don't know what happened there, but whatever, I can talk about all that stuff at the end. But two more things that I wanted to mention, because these weren't really in the script, so I just added them in, because I thought they should be mentioned. And I can see fans either being pissed off, upset, disappointed, sad, or content with the ending of Bleach. And it's just, you know, some people they just might be upset because of how short it is, because, you know, you don't get that much in the chapter. Or they could just be okay, you know, Bleach is ending, they're kind of pushing Bleach out of Shonen Jump, so we have to deal with this ending. Or you could have the people that are just like highly upset, you know, people that really valued Bleach, they might be upset over this. I'm not doing any major editing with this video. Yes, I could include images, but I've been doing way too much editing recently, and the rendering times really make me want to edit my videos even less. If you have a solution, go ahead and suggest it, but sorry Bleach, you're getting a one image video. Yeah, I mean, I like editing the videos, honestly, but it's like the views aren't really good enough for me to just like continuously do that, and I know I probably should do it anyway, but I don't feel like doing it at this point, and I want to get this out so people can see it. So, this chapter starts off with a child that appears to be Ichigo's son, but as I'm looking at the eyes, I'm thinking this has got to be Orihime's kid, because the eyes are so big, and he's messing around at the warehouse that the visors were at. I believe that's where he was, and Hiyori is there and wondering what he's doing. Then there's a double spread of all the main characters and some of Ichigo's school friends and his family. Ichigo, he went and got the Naruto special haircut because his hair is either cut shorter or he just doesn't have bangs anymore. I'm not sure, but it looks weird. Like, Naruto's haircut looks weird. I don't understand why characters with like semi-short spiky hair, they're just like, oh, I gotta make my character look older, you know, it's been like 10 years since the ending. Oh, let's give him a shorter haircut. Yeah, that screams older, but I don't know, I don't really like it. I think longer hair would have been cool. Just leave it how it was. Left it. Editing. I'm not going to be editing this, but I think his haircut should have been left how it was. Rukia, she has longer hair. Renji has his hair in a braid, and we saw that stuff in the last chapter. Yuzu, it looked like she dyed her hair blonde. I don't know if it's different in the manga or something. In the anime, it's like really brown, but it looks very blonde in the color page. And her and Kyrene just look older, so, I mean, were they in high school or were they in middle school? Either way, they should be in their 20s now, I think. But everyone else kind of looks the same. They haven't really changed that much. And then it turns out that the big announcement that was hyped up after the last chapter of Bleach and everything is actually a live-action movie. Heck yeah! Aren't you super excited? Yeah! That's almost a slap in the face to fans. And it's wrong to say that I expected an anime sequel, but I expected an anime sequel. Live action movies are trash. Japan, you have to realize this and stop. It's time to stop making these. And I want the anime to come back and Tite Kubo to be able to fill in the holes in the final arc, you know. There's things left out here and there that could be fixed. Meanwhile, in Soul Society, Byakuya and Soifone are on their way to that energy that popped up in the last chapter, and my Yuri is already there. Renji and Rukia show up at Ichigo's house, And now at this point, I was still unsure of who ended up with who, so I was hoping for Rukia to somehow be with Ichigo, and I think they have better chemistry, but it seems like Rukia hasn't been to his house in a while, so you know what that means. Ichigo's sisters and his high school friends are also there, of course, and a weird thing that wasn't really highlighted in the chapter, but it was just weird, and I didn't put it in the script, so I might as well talk about it now, is we don't see Ishin. We don't see Ichigo's father, and I don't understand why. He's just like randomly not at the house. And I mean, it's been like, what was the time skip? It was the time skip was like 10 years. So I don't understand why his dad wouldn't be in the house. That seems a little bit odd. But there's a party going on at Ichigo's house to watch Chad, who is now a boxer. He looks older and even more like a grown man now. I don't understand how much can you age this character to the point where he's just going to be like old in his 40s or something. Because I think they're in their 30s now, so if they continue to like make him look older or something, make him look more like a grown man, he'll be like gray in his 40s or something. Uryu has become a doctor and he can't watch the match with them, but he's watching on his phone at work. And Orihime pops in, and it was obvious at this point that she's with Ichigo. So their kid, and hopefully I say this right, Kazuyui. I looked this up, man. I did look this up. Let me look this up. It's like the old days. I'm just like looking up stuff during the video. I might leave in the middle of the video. No. Kazuyui. That's on the video now. Kazuyui, something like that. He likes spending time in Ichigo's old room, and apparently it's Yuzu's room now, so I'm guessing that means Ichigo doesn't live with his family anymore. Maybe he lives with Orihime, or maybe they live somewhere. And then we find out that Renji and Rukia have a kid, and this is a weird pairing. You know, I realize that they're childhood friends, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Doesn't really seem likely to me. To me, Ichigo and Rukia seems more likely than Renji and Rukia. But their kid is a Soul Reaper, and apparently she's become like an apprentice now. So I guess like a Soul Reaper apprentice. I don't know if we've ever had anyone like that. So I don't know where that person would really stand. I mean, obviously they're below the court guard squads and all that, but is that close to them, or I don't know. So Kazuyi is around Yuha's energy, and then he takes it out with one touch, meaning this kid's going to be OP and probably stronger than Ichigo. And I'm not sure where he was, unless the energy was in the human world, because the Soul Reapers were on their way to this energy, but the energy was around him. And I saw an interesting thing. This is another thing I'm going to bring up in the video that's not in the script. It was a comment on Manga Stream saying that Yuha was basically, he's kind of still around in a way, so he was trying to change the future, but he couldn't because Kazuyi ended up stopping him pretty much. And we learned that Aizen is somewhere. I don't know where he is, but it looks like he's attached to something and impaled. I was going to say that he was like crucified, but he's not on a cross. He's on like 3 things. So I don't know what's going on there. There's a flashback to the fight with Yuha, and Yuha basically wanted to combine the 3 worlds to eliminate fear, since there would be no death in these worlds if they were all combined. And here's my theory on how this works. Since Soul Society is pretty much heaven, and if you die, you wouldn't really be going anywhere if they were all in one place. It's like, hey bro, I'm about to die, so just meet me in Soul Society in like 5 minutes. So I feel like it would work like that. But the whole thing with Yuha and Ichigo's kid, like that's all related. That's kind of what the comment was saying. Like, I guess like the events could be going on at the same time. Like these could be like separate timelines or something. I'm not sure. But you know, you can look into it, look at the comments on Manga Stream. There's interesting theories always on there. I'm sure there'll be like interesting theories on YouTube and stuff. But the chapter ends off with Kazui in Ichigo's old room and Ichika, Abarai, Renji, and Rukia's daughter appearing in front of him. Kazui summons his cloak and blade, saying that he's a Soul Reaper too, and then Ichika is shocked. What did I think of this chapter? Well, first of all, I didn't think it would be over so fast. I was reading the chapter, and I was like, oh, okay, this is getting pretty good. And then I see Bleach 686 at the bottom, and I click the next page, and it says the last page, and I'm like, oh, alright. Good chapter, but I was expecting a lot more. So on Manga Stream, it says 26 pages, and that's including the fan art, the announcement page, and their own cover page. So this chapter was short, very short. And I've noticed the final chapters of manga are normally 60-something pages, maybe even more. And I feel bad for Kubo because he didn't deserve this. He did the best with what he had, you know, what they gave him, the time space, time space or whatever. Or the space within the magazine, I'm sorry. And I just feel like we're missing a lot of things, such as what happened to all the characters in Soul Society. Some of the characters from Wako Mundo were still in the story. What happened to Aizen? Aizen was shown in this chapter, but we don't know where he is. And there's a lot more mysteries to Bleach that probably will never get solved. And I thought Ichigo would have ended up with Rukia, but he didn't. It almost seemed like Ichika's name is a mix of Rukia and Ichigo's names. That was a random thing. And that must be awkward if that is true. But overall, there are no problems with this chapter other than things missing. Like, basically what I'm saying is the chapter is good, but it could be better. And this isn't Tite Kubo's fault. This is Shonen Jump's fault. I would have liked to see more from Ichigo's kid and his powers. And this chapter didn't really make me sad or anything. I don't know if the chapter made other people sad or anything. I mean, it sucks that Bleach is being forced to end, but I'm just not upset. I actually got into Bleach because Naruto Shippuden never came on Toonami, and I was looking for a new show to watch, and I ended up stumbling upon Bleach. And I had seen snippets of Bleach here and there, but I never sat down and actually watched it. So I started in the middle of the Bound arc, and I liked it. And the openings were really good, and the music was great, and the music really fit the scenes in the show very well. The comedy was good, and the character interactions were always fun to see. And then having a different introduction for each episode number was super cool and really unique, and I like how it's done in the manga too. But I did think the Arrancar arc dragged on for too long, and that's also Shonen Jump's fault. The editors made Tite Kubo extend the arc because they liked the characters. And eventually, Adult Swim re-aired the first few episodes of Bleach, and I really enjoyed those. I think I made it to around the 40s before they stopped and went back to new episodes. And that's some pretty good stuff. The beginning of Bleach, and probably the best of Bleach, especially the Soul Society arc. Really good stuff. And then I had to go on Netflix to finish Bleach up, and that would be part of Season 2 and all of Season 3. So I finished that. And this is just kind of random stuff, by the way, if you haven't noticed. But I thought the episode where Richigo, that's what the kid should have been called. I thought the episode where Rukia and Ichigo separate as his powers are disappearing was beautiful. And I thought that was one of the best episodes in the show. And that line just gets me because it's so good. Goodbye, Rukia. Thank you. Just a really good short line. And I think one of Bleach's problems is that it has so many characters, and then it tried to include each character in every arc, so everyone needed an opponent to fight. And another problem with the Bleach anime is that there's so much filler. A lot of Bleach filler is bad, and there was a filler about a princess, and after a while, I stopped watching that one. I just played the episode, did something else, maybe browsed the internet, played some video games. And the Beast Sword, the Beast Sword's arc was a cool idea, but not really done well. I feel like this arc was one that could have been included in the main story and done by Kubo himself in a better way. One unique thing about Bleach is when they say Bankai before changing sword forms. I thought that was so cool and always got me excited when they said that. And I also like hearing the various spells in Bleach. Plus, Tite Kubo has some fantastic art and probably some of the best artwork in Shonen Jump. And this art style actually got better as Bleach went on. There are some comparisons online that you can look at. And there's, they have a lot of the authors from Shonen Jump showing like the characters, I think, year by year and seeing like how the art has transformed and everything. Let me see, where am I at? I did really like Bleach, if you can't tell, but I can't really remember my favorite fights. And it's weird because I can remember everything about Naruto, but I can't remember everything about Bleach. And I don't know if that's because Bleach used all of its characters so often, or I don't know. I mean, I rewatched part of Naruto, but even then I still remember Naruto. I think Naruto's more deeply rooted in my childhood, so maybe like Bleach is the same for some other people. Bleach is like, it's like I have Naruto, they have Bleach, so Bleach is my Naruto to them, or something like that. I don't know. It's not in the script, so I can't really explain it that well, but yeah, maybe some people will be sad over Bleach ending, but I'm just kind of like, Bleach is ending. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. As I was saying, I can't really remember my favorite fights, but I did list a few. Ichigo versus Renji, Ishin, Kisuke, and Yoraichi versus Aizen, Renji and Uryu versus Zalapros. That's a hard name to say. Zalapro Grands are the only ones that really come to mind. And I'm sure there are others, but those are the only ones that I could really like vividly remember. So I wasn't gonna like put down some fights that like I don't know if they were my favorites or not. I did think Ikkaku using his sheath as a weapon was creative. If you remember that, that's like way back in Soul Society. But to sum things up, I thought this was a good chapter, but I think we deserved more, and above all, Tite Kubo deserved more. I look forward to his next work if there is one, and hopefully we get a second Bleach anime in the future. I would love for this anime to allow him to fix holes in this final arc. And if they were to adapt the remaining chapters into an anime, they would have to add some stuff to it, so they might as well have him on board with the anime staff if Shonen Jump is cool with it. Bleach was a series that I enjoyed. Thank you, Tite Kubo, and good luck. If you need a break after this manga, take one. You deserve it. Live your life. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Sermo11. See you next time, and peace out.